Hi, welcome to We're Crackin' a Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. How y'all doing today? Quick disclaimer, there may be some language, topics, things that you may want to be careful listening to, so viewer discretion advised. So, welcome back.
Wait. What? We have for the last two times we forget to ask people to like this video and subscribe to our channel, please.
Yes.
I'm taking my glasses off.
Yeah, that's good. Good to remember.
Sorry.
One of us got a memory.
Yeah.
One of us got a brain. So, hey, we have a special guest today. And this is Kirsten.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm waving like
Welcome.
it's hey.
So we're glad to be here. So today, the dish. What's the dish, Rich? Well, I took it already out of there.
You already took the dish out of the dishwasher.
I did. Yeah.
Typically we have.
Utilize it.
Yeah. Typically our dirty stuff is in the dishwasher,
That's right.
and then Julie pulls it out.
So today, one of our topics, we're called Potluck today, and that could be about a lot of things, using the imagination at least.
From potatoes to meat. That's what I said earlier.
Nice.
Oh wait, I gotta sit on.
I didn't say that.
I said that.
Yeah, I know, I didn't. I said something else.
Yeah, you did.
Anyways, so today, Kirsten is a naturalist, and I had a few questions about that. And so we're going to go straight into it. And so, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I'll ask you, tell us, all of us, what is it?
Naturalist?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if, I don't know the formal dictionary definition, but I'll start with a couple examples. So Walden, he was a naturalist. And Otto Leopold, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
He's a naturalist. Some of the first naturalists were the scholars, like from, the 1600s on.
Mm-hmm.
So, the ones who, they studied sciences, they studied the natural world, they studied language, and they were some of the first people who put together like museums, like the Natural History Museum. They were some of the first people who started, collecting specimens and like displaying them, and then taxonomy came into play and all that. So that's like.
So what brought you into that? What was it? Your education? Were you like this as a child?
Both.
Well?
Yeah. So I've always felt a very strong connection to the natural world. Like I remember even being a toddler and walking around. So we lived in this old Victorian house, and it had this big yard, and then behind the yard was this huge field. And like the grass was taller than I was, and I used to wander around back there and look for bugs and like critters. And I remember the first time I found a dead anything. It was a dead bumblebee.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know it was dead, right? I just knew something was wrong with it. I must have been like 3. And I was like, picked it up and brought it home. And I'm like, Mom, this bee is sick, like what's wrong with the bee? And I was like petting it and stuff. And she was, trying to explain to me about, well, it's gone to sleep forever. And we could put it, we made a little matchbox bed for it. Anyway. The things you remember.
Yeah,
so
isn't that the truth?
Yeah, and then I also watched Jacques Cousteau. I loved that show.
Right.
So then I got like really focused on the ocean critters and stuff like that. And I've just always just been fascinated like with anything to deal with nature. So yeah, and a naturalist is a very broad term. I mean, you have some naturalists who go down one rabbit hole and some go down another, and there's obviously so many different topics under it.
So what is yours? What's your rabbit hole?
Yes.
Your favorite,
whatever's in front of me, basically whatever's in front of me. So, I mean, for a long time I did lean very heavily toward ocean life, sharks in particular. So, and then like my interest in that determined what I studied in college. So I studied geology and ecology and some marine biology.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of overlap between those. Geology and ecology, it's like crazy how much overlap there is with that. Because, you know, landscape formations determine the vegetation, and then the vegetation and the plants, and that all determines the flora and the fauna. Yeah. So, so even though I had a double major, it wasn't like too overwhelming because there was so much overlap. It was,
Right. Fascinating.
Yeah, but like, so for example, and I've been telling people in the neighborhood that I collect dead things, you know. Right. And so some people have been keeping that in mind. And the other day at the bonfire, I show up and Rena's like, "Oh, Brian found this fish, you know, fish bones for you." So I went over there where he had left them, you know, he like put them aside on the beach for me, and I was so happy. I can't even tell you, I was so happy. And I found out that these bones, like one piece alone is the length of my forearm.
Oh, wow.
What? And I was like, this is definitely from a fish. Like, because somebody was thinking it was a mammal. I was like, no, I've seen this structure before. This is only in fish.
Wow. And
I did some research, and I found out it was from a blue catfish that was like 5 feet big, 5 feet long.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I would have brought it.
Could you tell the age? I mean, there's no telling the age of something like that, right? Because that's 5 foot long. That's a big fish.
It is, and
like, really big.
Catfish never stop growing. They never stop growing. So I would have to look up the rate of that species, like the length, you know.
Yeah, how it progresses.
So I don't know offhand how old it was.
And this is why you don't get in the water.
This is why I will not get in the water.
I was just thinking that. You're sitting there thinking that. This is why
I'm sitting here like, blech.
I know, because the murky lake water where I can't see what's around me, I get the heebie-jeebies so bad.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like you and I are the only normal ones here in this group.
I don't want a big catfish gulping my leg, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I know you have dove as a diver.
Yeah, I do love scuba diving.
So diving, you've only, in clear waters.
Yes,
have you ever?
That's the thing. Yeah,
that's the goal.
If it's
always, anyways.
I'm very comfortable scuba diving in clear water where the visibility goes for a good distance. If I'm in murky water, I freak out.
Where'd you get your cert on that?
I got first certified in '96, and I was living in Virginia at the time. So my very first open water exam was in a quarry, a murky, dark, cold as quarry.
Mine too. It was in a murky, cold, dark quarry.
Where was yours?
It was up in Wisconsin.
Oh God!
Yeah. And we wore a wetsuit.
Yeah, you have to. It was so cold.
I'm sorry, a dry suit.
Oh, yours was.
Mine was a long time ago. It was a dry suit where the buoyancy was here in the chest.
But that's a separate certification.
That's all we had. That's how we did it. You
learned immediately using a dry suit.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was awful.
Oh my God.
Wait, what's the difference between a dry suit and a wetsuit?
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead?
Well, you probably. It's been so long for me.
Okay.
A wetsuit, of course, just like a bodysuit.
You know. It's neoprene.
Yeah, that keeps you warm.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, it gets wet. You get wet. And initially you feel the cold, but then the air pockets like warm. You know, your body heat reflects in the air pockets and you get warm.
And the other one is more like a spacesuit, pretty much.
You never get wet.
Yeah, it's like
you don't get wet.
The whole helmet,
No.
and it is. It is heavy.
This is like from the 1950s movies where they got their helmet on.
Pretty much. If you would have seen me walking in the water because it's a walk-in dive, and because you have your weights on and your tank, I probably look like a
Michelin man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So you don't get wet in that.
No. And your buoyancy, there was if I remember correctly, it was on the chest, so I had to press it and to correct my buoyancy to get it correct. Yeah, it was
That's why it's a different certification. Like a dry suit is a completely different logistics from a buoyancy perspective than a wetsuit. So
it was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
so
old. Anyways, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's that. So you like the clear water. So you had these bones off the beach.
Yeah.
And so what else do you collect? Like if
Well,
we were to
let
go
me tell
see
you
it.
what. Let me tell you. Oh, go ahead.
So when you get like fish bones,
Yeah.
how do you just, are they in a bag? Do you lay them out? How do you display your fish bones?
Oh,
Yeah.
How do I display them? Okay. Shoot, I wish I could show the audience some pictures. But imagine like, okay, so, well, the reason I'm thinking of this is because we've been binging Harry Potter this week. So imagine like a, dark academia style room, or like a museum from the 1800s or something like that. And
Yeah.
you have all like these dome, I think they're called cloches. Is that what they're called?
Cloche.
Cloche?
Yep.
Yeah, you have like specimens in these glass cloches, or you might have them like on stands, or, there's all different ways you can display this stuff. And I use all of those ways. But at our previous house, I had an entire wall dedicated to my collection. And when we build our new house, I plan on having the same thing, except at the last house, it was all like a hodgepodge of shelves that I just kind of threw together as my collection expanded. But
Right.
when we build a new house, it's going to be all nice and uniform and like very
Like a museum
chic.
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like
That's neat.
and
Very neat.
like taxidermy wall, but it's not going to be like all stuffed animals like that. It's going to
Yeah.
be seashells and feathers and dried plants and crystals and yeah.
So when you look for these items, do you look for specific ones, I should say, or are you looking for specific ones in terms of just,
No. And one of the things that makes it so exciting and like really meditative too at the same time is like if I go out on a walk, so I'm a photographer too, so I'm always like looking at things from a photographer's perspective, but I'm also looking at lots of details. So instead of like covering, an entire, 5-mile stretch, I'll just slow down and I'll just look very detailed at everything and just kind of slow my mind down and like just take in what's around me.
right?
And, and it just makes you more like living in the moment. And also with that kind of slowing down and looking at detail, you're more likely to find something versus like just kind of walking at full speed and you're glancing at stuff. Like you start looking at stuff carefully and you'll start to see stuff and that you might not see otherwise. So it's just very meditative for me, but it's also cool because if you run across something, then it's like a special gift,
Yeah.
it's like a surprise. And then I decide whether or not I should take it or just take a picture of it. It depends what it is.
Oh.
Like, because one of the things I also want to learn is tracking, like learning how to track animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you have to like, like if I see like a predation, like if there's a dead bird, for example, one of the things you can learn is if the carcass is there and the feathers are all like gnarled and kinked up and all messed up, then it's a mammal who attacked a bird.
Oh,
But
right.
if the feathers are all neat and tidy, then it was a bird that attacked the bird because the birds know how to handle the feathers, but mammals are like, this is a man,
Right.
So it's just
Going
really
in.
interesting, the kind of things you can learn about that. So, I might take a couple of feathers and then it's fun because a couple of weeks ago, I saw one of those. I took the feathers. I still have yet to figure out what kind of bird it was. I've poured through my field guides and I've done research online, and I can't figure out what species of bird this was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
I feel like we have a lot of birds here.
yeah, and
There's a lot of
the
birds.
closest thing I could find on this guide is a bird that's not from this region.
Hmm.
So I just have to look at it more closely, or maybe the bird got like
There was
in a
just an
storm.
article about,
Yeah,
they got
birds
that kind of end up
they're
in the area.
migrating. Yeah.
Who are not supposed to be here.
Right.
But, yeah.
Right. So I have to do more research, but,
I read about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my input.
He got derailed off his route.
And I saw a hawk,
Yeah, nice.
which we had
Woo.
a giant hawk on the road right up the road from the cabin. And
Nice.
I mean, and it had one of those giant fox squirrels. I think that's what they're
Oh,
called.
a fox squirrel?
Yeah.
Oh, those are so cool.
Yeah, it had one of those.
Yeah. Oh, it had one of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it was a
wow.
giant hawk.
Wow.
It was giant.
Wow, that's cool.
Good.
Not cool for the squirrel.
Good
But
eyesight.
Yeah,
Could
well,
tell it
I
was
mean,
a
it was
fox
right on the road.
Oh.
Gary almost hit it with his car. It dropped the squirrel in front of the car because it was flying across the road with the squirrel.
Okay.
Oh.
And so it dropped the squirrel and landed in a tree right. I mean, you could see it. It was giant. And so it sat there for quite a while, and the squirrel was obviously dead on the road because then I left and the squirrel was still on the road and the hawk was still there.
Wow.
Like, is it a fish story? Like it was a giant?
It was giant.
It was giant.
I mean, when it was sitting in the tree, it was this big.
Oh yeah, that
was
sounds about right.
giant.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
It hunts like in the woods behind our cabin,
Right.
back and forth
Yeah.
down through
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
It needs to get the chipmunks out there.
Does.
Get rid of the chipmunks.
So see now I'm wondering, I'm like, I wonder what kind of hawk that is.
Ah, nature walk behind
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
this house. The what comes to my mind, way off topic,
Yeah.
with your feathers.
Oh,
As a kid,
yeah.
did you ever take those long feathers and make a pen out of it?
Oh yeah, like the plumy, very fluffy plumy ones, so that when you write it was all,
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
stick the pen,
Yeah.
in there and just. It would fit
Would
in
you
your
have an
little head.
inkwell? What's
No,
going
you'd
on?
go-
What was
you take-
this?
You
Yeah.
take it out of a pen,
yeah,
and
yeah.
make yourself a feathered pen.
Yeah, you take the cartridge, the ink
Yeah.
cartridge out of like a ballpoint.
A ball,
pen.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, and then you put it in the feather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you found a feather.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
You missed out.
Yeah.
Could
Apparently.
have been cool.
Apparently,
Could have
yeah.
been cool.
I wasn't. Was not cool.
Well, you're making up for it
Yeah,
now.
okay.
Yeah,
Believe
there
me.
you go. Okay, Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
Find a feather.
I know what we're getting for Christmas.
Collection. All right, so what do you have? Do you have the most of anything, or do you collect one as your?
I want to know what the most unusual thing is.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the most unusual. That's even better. Good call, Rich.
Thanks. Sometimes.
So so it's a lifelong collection. So I'd say half the stuff that I have is stuff that I've found on hikes or beach combing or whatever, and half are things that either gifts or I bought online. But I have to say, oh man, this is a tough one. One of the favorite things I've ever found was a couple of years ago. Kurt and I were at our favorite beach, which is in Delaware. And there's a specific beach that we love going to because it's like not crowded at all. It's kind of like a local secret, and it's the bayside, and there's a lighthouse there, and it's total chill. And during low tide, there's all these sandbars you can walk out on, and there's, when it's the season, there's like tons of horseshoe crabs, and yeah, it's just really cool. And I found like what I initially thought was a bunch of teeth. They were all kind of stuck together with seaweed. I thought they were teeth, like of some fish, like a shark or something. And obviously I kept it. I was like, this is so cool. And then I started doing research, and I realized that what it was the pricklies of like a blowfish
Oh, wow.
or a porcupine fish.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
It's all of those pricklies on its body.
Right.
So I'm guessing what happened is it was the actual skeleton of one of those fish, and it started to weather, and it started to fall apart, but the seaweed like clumped it all together.
Wow.
So that is like one of the most interesting things I've ever found.
Neat.
Yeah, and then there's another time when I was in South Africa, there was these fish bones I found, and that was like 20 years ago, and I still can't figure out what they are.
Wow.
Like, it's interesting, like, because it keeps me researching, and then I keep
Right.
learning, but I'm just like, God, what is this? Like, what is it? You know?
Because there's still so many unknowns.
Yeah.
Of course, in the ocean.
Yeah,
so, right?
and not
It's
every fish, like if you type in fish skeleton online, I don't think there's a catalog of every single fish skeleton out there.
Right.
I don't think there is. Like, you know, so, the search continues. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have, I understand you have shark teeth too?
I do. I found some shark teeth, and then I also, well, my most prized one is one my marine biology professor gave me a fossil shark tooth. It's like that big, and it's
What do they call those? What
the fossil shark teeth. What?
yeah. What kind of ant? Wasn't there a, like before they were sharks, they were called.
Oh, you mean the biggest shark ever, like the dinosaur
Started with
shark?
an M?
Yeah, megalodon.
Megalodon.
Yeah, I have a couple of those teeth too.
You do?
Megalodon. Yeah,
Megalodon.
but I didn't. I know where you can go find those. I just haven't had a chance to go there yet. Like,
Wow.
yeah, there's
Yes.
certain places you can go to find those. Well, actually, that's not true. I just remembered I was in a place where you can find those last year in Charleston, South Carolina. There's an island off
goodness.
of there where you can find those, and I didn't find one, but my coworker did.
Oh.
She did?
Yeah, well, she found a half of one, but still, it was
wow.
impressive. It was like, you know, this long.
You
Just
can,
on the
you can
beach?
find them in Florida.
Yeah,
You
Florida.
can? Yeah, on the beach?
Yeah.
because my friend's son, he collects them.
Oh, wow.
They dive and he collects them.
Yeah, there's places to go diving where you can. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. It's cool stuff.
Megalodon.
Megalodon. I forgot about
I
that.
don't know. Godzilla, that's what kind of.
That's your thing. Yeah. Is there a Godzilla versus Meg movie?
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I don't think there really is, but I mean,
We have to see it if there is.
there might
In the
be.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because isn't there a Godzilla versus Mothra?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God, I
Godzilla
love Mothra.
versus whoever
Kong.
else. There's another
There's
one.
Mecha Godzilla. There's Godzilla versus oh gosh,
King Kong or no?
Rodan. Yes,
King Kong.
that's
Yeah.
the new one.
Yeah.
Rodan was the giant bird.
Oh, God.
Have you seen
think my
every
monsters.
Godzilla movie?
I probably have
Yeah.
in my lifetime because it started when I was a kid. I would watch Godzilla when I didn't feel good,
Oh.
and so as an adult, when I don't feel well,
Yeah.
I watch Godzilla.
Why not? Right.
And there's a new Godzilla movie coming out
So
All right.
exciting.
in March.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Gonna go to the theater?
Yes.
Of course.
Of course. I was
Wait,
thinking
great.
about having a party. Like,
Well, let's do it.
I think,
Godzilla
yeah,
party. Yeah.
a Godzilla party.
Nice.
Because it's Godzilla and Kong again.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Okay,
Cool.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
That's how we went with
That's fun.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
That's right. So, what else do you have? I know about the
Oh,
shark
okay.
teeth.
Well, no, you. I never answer your question about what do I have the most of.
Oh, okay. Right.
I have a lot of rocks, and when I say rocks, I mean rocks and crystals.
So, where do you find crystals?
Well, finding crystals is a little bit more challenging than just finding rocks.
Right.
So most of the crystals I have, I've bought, and actually,
Oh, okay.
there's a new really good crystal shop there in Gatlinburg at this one. It's part of the Craftsman Loop in Gatlinburg.
He probably knows.
Never been there. I guarantee it.
I have not.
Oh,
She's not been to Gatlinburg.
What?
I've been to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Pigeon
Okay.
Forge.
Well, anyway,
almost.
Almost. I was so close. Taste it.
yeah.
So why do you like to collect crystals? I'm probably taking us off.
No, you're fine. Well, there's multiple layers here.
Do
So-
crystals represent different?
Yes.
So, okay, like energies. And,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So it's the naturalist interest, first of all, and I did study geology in college, although I did very poorly in mineralogy. That was a hard class. Oh my God. That was like, you had to know a lot of chemistry, and it was really hard to identify it.
Fun.
So yeah, they're, besides the fact that they're just like amazing and beautiful and they're really cool, I do dabble in the whole energy thing with them too. So I have right now I have like some favorite crystals. And when I say favorite, all I mean is that they just feel good holding them. Like there's something about them and so I don't know if it's like a certain energy I need right now or what have you. And that might change a year from now. My favorite crystals might be a different set,
Right.
you know, so it kind of changes. And oh my gosh, see, this goes off into another rabbit hole because this goes into the metaphysical, right?
Yep.
And I have this friend who is just amazing, and like I was in this crystal shop with her one time. She was living in Gettysburg at the time, and she can pick up on energies and spirits and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And I was in this crystal shop with her, and she just started talking about the crystals, like the energy from them. And half the time I don't even know what she's talking about. She's just like rambling like fast. It's almost like she's channeling and just saying all this information. But she picked up this crystal and she was talking about all this stuff about it, like where it's been and what it's seen. And like, I was just blown away.
Wow.
And I could listen to her all day. And so like, I'm not nearly a thousandth of a fraction as knowledgeable as she is about crystals in that aspect. But it's just another thing to learn. I need to clone myself really so that I could learn all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's not enough time. Like,
Right.
I need to retire.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Retire.
But I have a lot of books about that kind of thing. So if you want to, you know, borrow them, or if you have a question about it, maybe I can at least look them up. I could look up a crystal for you, or I could look it up, you know, based on the need. Like, you know, I'm really having trouble sleeping. What crystals do you recommend for sleeping better? Or, you know, I just feel really anxious all the time. What kind do you recommend for that, or whatever? You know.
So in order to get the energy out of these crystals, you said you hold them. Is that your?
I
best?
personally, that's my thing. Some
Right.
people like, and I also do this too. You can get like a leather pouch and hang it.
Oh, just have
Yeah,
it
or
close
you
to
could have it in your pocket.
Okay.
You know, just so it's close to your body.
Right.
Some people like having some next to their bed. Some people have some on their desk. You know, there's different ways you can use them. And then like I know some people use them for like chakra work. Like you can have them different parts of your body. There's different crystals for different chakras and stuff like that. So
It's just all about energy.
It
feeling
is,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
I believe that.
yeah, me too. So
It's very
yeah,
cool.
I'd say that's probably what I have. Well, no, I have a lot of seashells too.
Do you have bigger seashells or smaller? Like, what do you like to collect?
Yes.
Yeah, the
I have
large
it all.
ones.
I have big conchs and I
Yeah.
have
Do you find them or buy them?
both.
Both.
Yes.
So have you ever found larger ones on the beach and then brought them home? And I mean, they could really smell. And just,
there's
what do you do with that?
you boil it first. You have to boil it first. Yeah.
And then you get everything out.
Yeah.
They didn't really smell.
Yeah.
Oh, we had some in our room, and we
Yeah,
finally
they-
just put them
they
back because,
do.
like, oh my gosh, it was so bad. We
Yeah,
couldn't
the
boil it
animal
there.
was still in there then.
Oh.
If it stunk like that, really bad, you'd have to boil it, and then the animal's like a slug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
one.
eat it.
I've actually had
lunch.
grilled conch. It's really good.
We in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have that all the time. And
It's
I don't
good.
like fish, but I used to have conch fritters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good stuff.
Hmm. Wow.
Just
shocked.
eat it. I know.
Just eat
Who
it?
would have
Really?
thought?
It's not,
Mhm.
not like you.
I know. Wouldn't catch me eating it now.
Shocking.
Oh, you wouldn't have any?
I'm not a seafood person.
Oh, okay.
I think it didn't taste super
Fishy.
seafoody. Yeah.
To you, that's why you
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
Plus, it had a good sauce to dip it in.
Well,
so,
yeah,
I mean, that made the difference.
Yeah.
But
Cannot
Covers
go
the
wrong with
flavor.
that. Yeah.
No, sauce is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a big fish lover, so
Yeah.
conch
Yeah.
shells.
conch.
You used to get those in Florida. You could get the conch shells. I think down in South Florida more.
Yeah, I know I've had them.
I mean, that was when we
lived.
lived there and we'd take people to the beach. That was everybody's thing to do, collect
Yeah.
shells.
Did you go snorkeling and stuff while you lived there?
Not in Florida.
No. So So for you, is it water even if you can see what's around you? Even if it's crystal clear water, are you still like, I ain't going in?
No, I don't mind. So
Yeah.
like we went snorkeling in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, the water was crystal clear.
Yeah.
And so that's fine.
Yeah, you're like me. You just want to be able to see what's around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this water out here just is like a cesspool of things that's not supposed to be swimming in.
You just don't open your eyes.
It gets in your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth.
You just stay on top of a mat.
Ugh.
Well, you know what's kind of weird too about the lake here is that it's covering an old town.
Yeah,
It's kind of creepy.
yeah.
Like
Oh, I never.
people used to live there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
there's
not anymore
farmhouses
though.
and barns.
Not anymore
and-
though.
Yeah.
I know, but like somebody's
count.
bedroom as a child is under the water now. It's kind of depressing.
But well, think about it that way though. It could be so many places, where people used to
know.
live.
Yeah, I know.
And different things.
There's just something, I don't know.
Yeah, something about water being over an area. Yeah. Never thought about it.
Like
that
if
way,
your
though.
childhood home was now suddenly
Underwater.
under a lake, wouldn't you feel kind of weird about that?
I mean,
Yeah,
you wouldn't be
it-
going and staying there.
It would be a lot of homes underneath there. There's probably not many though. I mean, this is pretty rural.
Yeah.
So you'd
I
figure
think there's a lot of farms that were
along here,
under the
along
water.
valley.
Hmm.
A lot of farms
Farmhouses.
along.
Mhm,
Yeah, well,
barns.
it's a big lake
Because this was a farming.
Right. Anyway,
community. Yeah.
Mhm.
Never think about it.
yeah.
Oh, we'll get you two in
So
eventually.
there's probably
No excuses.
people buried under that
I
lake.
know, I know.
Because they didn't dig everybody up and move them.
I know.
Because people were probably buried and they didn't even know that there was people and
But that's
things buried.
that's anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in this
But now
water.
you're.
You ever see
really-
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
The swimming pool scene?
Right.
They're all going to pop up out of the dirt.
You do. I don't want to be thinking about that. I do check under my bed each night. Does that count?
Oh, you're brave. Wow.
Only when I'm alone.
What are you looking for? Spiders? Or it depends on what you're looking for. People or spiders?
Well, people.
Okay, well,
No, not spiders.
they're not getting
I
it.
wouldn't
Clowns.
see that.
Clowns
clown
under the
or
bed.
clowns.
Ugh.
They're not getting
Any of that kind of thing.
Ugh.
Any of that. All right, so what else? So you got the crystals, feathers, shells,
Seashells, rocks,
and just
bones, insects.
insects.
Yeah. Gosh, anything, you name it.
Yeah,
like,
if you
oh,
just
there
find-
was something I bought. I found it in a antique shop of all things, and it was part of a plant. It's a woody thing, but it's shaped like a kind of like a teardrop almost.
Huh.
It's kind of shaped like this, and it's a cross section, and you can see like the cells of the plant.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what the heck is this? And then Kurt's son comes to visit us, and he's like, oh, that's the top of a palm, a bamboo shoot or palm tree or whatever. He
He
knew
knew.
right away what it
Wow.
was. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, wow. Okay, thanks.
impressive.
Because I couldn't, again, I was pouring in my field guides, and I couldn't find anything that looked like it. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the top of a palm tree. I'm like, cool.
Say, I knew that. Come on. I was testing you, honey.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just interesting things. I'll have to keep my eyes open when I go shopping for neat things,
Or if you see
Oh, yeah.
anything dead on the beach,
Yeah, that
let me
too.
know. Yeah.
right?
You're like,
Well, you could have stuff dead in the woods too. You could,
yeah.
find.
Sure, we got a bunch of dead stuff in the woods.
Yeah,
Well,
so you just gotta.
So
Wow.
yeah, so again, the fish bones that Brian found and kept for me, and then like after he saw how excited I was about it, he's like, by the way, there's a turtle shell over there too.
Oh,
So I went to look for that, and I found that, and it's like this. It's the
Oh,
length
wow.
of my forearm, and it's got like the shell has these patterns on it that look like fingerprints. It is the coolest thing ever.
wow.
And I've narrowed it down to a possible of 2 different species. I don't know if it's a eastern cooter or if it's a northern map
Cooter?
or a northern map turtle.
Wait, there's a cooter turtle?
Yeah, there's a cooter turtle. Who knew? Yes.
Cooter turtle.
Yes, cooter. Yep.
Turtle.
Yep.
There's so many turtles in the water. I never even
well,
thought about looking for a
And then I
shell.
was out there in our cove yesterday just picking up trash because there's all sorts of random crap. And I found another turtle. It's a different species.
Just the shell.
No,
The whole
that one
turtle.
it's still the carcass is still decomposing.
Oh.
So that one
Oh,
is
wow.
staying outside, but it's, I'm letting nature do its thing, and then I'll revisit it at some point.
Right.
And I found
Oh, wow.
a deer skull with antlers on it
Oh, wow.
in the mud.
Really?
It was in the mud. Yeah, I thought it was trash.
Yeah.
And I went to pick it up, and it was, lo and behold, it was a deer skull. I was like,
Oh,
score!
wow. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you
I
hang
have to
those
work
on your
my beach
wall.
more.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff on my wall for sure. And
We're not allowed to have those.
well,
on
you
the wall.
haven't been to the cabin yet, at least not while we're living there. But I do have a big elk skull hanging up. That was another, I didn't find it. I mean, I didn't find it in the woods. I bought that at like an antique store.
Oh, cool.
And that was like the deal of the century, that one.
At the antique store. Yeah.
Yeah.
Around here? Or?
No,
north?
back in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and it's very well done, and it's like gorgeous. And those usually go for, a couple $1,000.
Wow.
And I got it for $600.
Oh, wow.
So I was
Yeah,
like,
that was a
is
score.
mine. Yeah. Yep.
Score.
Yep.
So, talked about collecting, and I know you've traveled. You've been in many, many different places and dove.
Yeah.
Really, some significant or challenging or interesting
Yeah. So
scenarios.
So yeah, one of the most interesting dives I did was in Florida. We were, what was the name of? Sorry, I'm having a senior moment. I can't think of the name of the town off of. Well, anyway, we're going down to a wreck, to a sunken boat. And we had already done multiple dives that day, so this was going to be our last dive of the day. And we were going to go down to this wreck, and the current was ripping.
Oh, dangerous.
Was
and
this
I
on
was-
the West Coast or the East Coast? Probably East.
It was in the Keys.
Oh, okay, in the Keys.
And I'm sorry, I'm just drawing a blank.
That's
But-
okay.
But anyway, and I should have trusted my instincts. I was like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm going to sit this one out. And then someone said, yeah, there a lot of times you'll see bull sharks down there. And I'm like, sharks? I'm like, oh, I got to go now because I'm going to be upset
Miss him.
if everyone comes back talking about all these sharks and I didn't go because I was being a wimp, So it was just a disaster.
The dive.
So since the current was ripping really hard, we all dove off the end of the boat 2x2s, and you have to descend immediately when the current is that strong because it's stronger on the surface, and then as you get deeper, it tends to slow down, right? So you don't want to hang out on the surface at all. You probably know this.
Yeah.
You want to just go straight down. So there was, I don't know, a group of like 10 of us, and we dove in 2x2s, and I immediately just, everyone just disperses in every direction, and I immediately can't find my dive buddy.
It's so dangerous with that current.
I'm looking all
So
around,
scary.
and there's nobody.
Yeah.
I don't see
So scary.
anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm continuing to, and the rule is that you wait 1 minute, and if you still can't find your buddy, you wait 1 minute, and then you go to the surface. But you wait 1 minute first. I waited a minute. Saw a turtle. That was cool. So at that point, I'm panicked.
Yeah.
And I go up to the surface, and the chop is pretty, and so I can't see the boat. I can't see anything. All I
Oh
can
my
see
gosh.
is, so I'm like hyperventilating at this point.
Did you shoot?
I was getting ready to, but then luckily the boat saw me,
Oh,
and they
thank
came
heavens.
and they were coming and just immediately picking everybody up, But there was some people missing.
Oh,
Yeah, so there was this new diver in our
Oh,
group,
goodness.
and he thought he was like James Bond. Like he had all this extraneous equipment, and he was always like, rah, 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 rah. And he was a new diver, and you could tell, but he just thought all this fancy equipment made him unstoppable, and like,
Yeah.
Oh, the worst conditions for
Yes,
a new diver. That's
and,
scary.
Oh my God. He, basically, long story short, we ended up searching for him for 4 hours, and another boat had picked him up like 3 miles away.
Whoa.
It turns out that he decided he was going to swim all the way to the bottom. Okay, he's like violating all of these scuba rules. Like, first of all, he should not have gone on his own. After he couldn't find his buddy, he should have ascended, but he didn't. He swam all the way to the bottom, which is below the depth that you're supposed to, and then he crawled across the bottom to find the wreck. And he like dried out his tank. His main tank was out of air.
Wow.
So then he surfaced on his pony bottle.
Oh my gosh.
So not the brightest.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's lucky he's alive.
Don't want him as a dive buddy.
No. No. So that kind of, freaked me out a little bit. That was not good.
Sounds very determined.
He was, yeah.
But
he was determined, yeah.
But it's so selfish because you're leaving all your...
Well, yeah.
And then you have to be out there 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, and then this other couple, they were very experienced divers, so we weren't as worried about them, and we did find them, and they followed they were doing everything like they should have.
Yeah.
And luckily we found them after an hour, but yeah, that other guy, 4 hours.
Yeah, that's
3
crazy.
miles. He was 3 miles
That
away.
is so far.
Like, he
so
could have
far.
ended up in Cuba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what were you thinking?
Right.
So,
My husband got caught in one of those. We were diving, and I almost went. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go on this dive. He said it was the worst current he's ever experienced. I think we were in Mexico. And he said it took him far.
wow.
And so he was out there by himself, did everything right. So he said he basically kept his face down because he wasn't so worried about what was above. He wanted to see what was,
Right.
swimming up to him
Yeah.
in the ocean, make sure he was okay. But it took, I forget how long it took now, maybe a half hour, 45. I'm sure it seemed like forever for the boat to find
it's
him.
freaky.
Yeah, he said it was awful.
Oh my gosh.
The current just,
Yeah.
suddenly he was gone. So it was really bad. I said I would have died.
Yeah.
So thank heavens I didn't go at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
I probably would have. I probably would have panicked.
Freaked
It would have been
out.
bad.
Yeah.
So I would have lost him, and that would have been bad. And he-
Yikes.
yeah, scary.
Stay out of the
He
water.
tells that story. It's like
Stay out of the
yours.
water.
We're just
Stay
like,
out of the
why
water.
are you people even coming?
I only dive in calm.
Stay out of the water.
Make sure it's a good
That's
day.
what they put those little flags out at the beach for.
True.
Stay out of the water.
True. Well, that's so you've dove with sharks too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Or in a cage.
yeah. So, I mean, I've seen some sharks on reef dives and stuff. You've seen nurse sharks and
I've seen
black tip reef
sharks
sharks.
on reefs and the
Yeah.
Great Barrier GBR.
Yeah. Oh,
I
cool.
dove that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
You like that?
It was awesome.
Yeah. Right?
Awesome.
Right?
Best dive ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we
I
did a
mean,
few. Yeah, very cool.
people are in the water with sharks a lot more than they think.
Yeah,
And
we saw them just swimming around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
they
crazy.
were just kind of minding their own business.
They were
right?
minding their own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's generally the case with them.
To-
But
right.
there are the exceptions,
There
and that's
are.
enough to terrify me, right?
Right.
But yeah, I did the cage dive with the great whites.
Yeah, that was just fascinating when you were telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that one, because I was in a cage, I didn't feel threatened at all. Like, I was complete, and maybe because my excitement might have masked any fear I had. I don't know. But because I was in a cage, I felt completely safe.
Yeah, I was telling Mike about your dive in a cage with sharks, and yeah, he would love to talk to you about that because he was like, oh wow, wow. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it sounds neat.
Yeah,
Sounds like something I'd like to watch on TV.
Something you like to watch in the comfort
Me
of
too.
your living
Yeah.
room.
Shark
Yeah.
Week on Shark
Yeah.
Week.
Yeah.
You have watched Shark Week? That's
Yeah.
really
I
cool.
used to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Air Jaws, you know the Air Jaws series on Discovery Shark Week,
Yeah,
where they do the breaching?
I think so. Yeah, I just catch it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
the
don't
show
know.
where
No, I don't.
where the
but I'm sure I do.
main focus is to catch on film the sharks breaching out of the water.
Okay,
It's called
got it.
Air Jaws. Right?
Okay.
that guy, Chris Fallows,
Not
is
to be
one of
mixed
the
with Sharknado. It's not the same thing.
No, that's different. Yeah, that's
Okay,
different.
sorry.
Yeah,
We're going to get this.
yeah.
Sharknado.
Sharknado. That makes me think of something. I'll bring it up later. But anyway, yeah. So that guy who's in that program, the Air Jaws series, Chris Fallows, his boat. That's one of the research boats I was on. For a bit.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of the people
so
I was
cool.
on for a bit. Yeah.
How long were you on that boat?
I was doing expedition with him for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And man, he had some stories.
I'm
And
sure.
then there's another outfit there called Great White Research Institute, and I was with them the most amount of time. Like I was with them, I'd say a month initially, and then I came home for a bit, and then I went back for a year just to do the white shark research with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
How were you really way out there in the ocean,
No.
or were you sort of just a mile?
No, you're just off the coast. We
Yeah,
were able
okay.
to see land everywhere. We
awesome.
pretty much,
Okay.
for the most part, we
Yeah.
were able to see land anywhere we were.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think open waters would scare me more than anything.
yeah.
Just
I don't.
start, yeah,
Yeah.
being that far out.
So the thing, this is what's with Shark Week. There's a lot of sensationalism, and like they'll show footage of someone in a cage, and the shark comes up and is like investigating the cage is what he's doing, and they'll say the shark attacks the cage, and it's like he's just coming up and like doing this like that. He's
Right.
like investigating, because that's how they investigate, is with their mouths, like
Right.
babies do.
Yeah, just testing it.
Because trust me, if the shark was attacking the cage, you would know. You know, this coming up and investigative bite, nibble, just to see what it is, that's like child's play. That's not an attack.
Right. And he
Yeah.
doesn't want it. I mean, it's
I mean, they're curious about metal stuff because they have like these pores in their nose that detect electromagnetic sensory pores.
okay. So-
And so things that are metal give off these, conduction thing. They're attracted to metal stuff because of that. And so they like to chew on the props a lot, the propellers.
Oh, really?
They'll come up, you'll see them like going back there and nibbling on it to see what
Just
it
to
is.
test. Oh, wow. I did not know that about the props.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really, but they're just like kind of like puppies sometimes.
Oh,
They're misunderstood.
they're so
puppies.
cute.
Oh, what a baby shark now.
Isn't there a song?
Baby shark.
Baby shark.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But
that never goes out of your head.
Yeah. But don't misunderstand me. Like I have a serious respect for them. Like if I was in the water and I saw one and I wasn't in a cage, I'd be shitting my pants.
Right.
Even if it was being docile and not in hunt mode, I would be shitting my pants.
I
Yeah.
would too. If I
Because
was
There
that
was a
close and
great white that just washed up on the beach in Florida. It was
I
dead.
saw something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
But something was going on with that.
But I don't think that they're typically in that area. I mean, they are more and more now,
Yeah.
but it's still a little bit unusual.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
It is unusual.
It was
to me.
huge. They had a picture of it.
Yeah.
Of course, it was bloated from
Right.
being on the.
Right. Poor thing.
Let's see where we're at.
Yeah.
Was that a great white, though, that washed up?
Yeah, I
it a
believe
great
it
white?
was.
I thought it was. Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Huh.
So yeah, one of the things that surprised me the most, like, because I've been reading about sharks and specifically great whites for like most of my life, and one of the things that surprised me the most when I actually started meeting these sharks in person was that they have different personalities. Like you wouldn't expect that.
No,
think
you
that
wouldn't
they're
expect
just
it.
these
Yeah, just
mindless. But
Man eater. Yeah, eaters. Just
Yeah.
constant eaters.
yeah, they have different personalities. Like
Huh.
some of them, I mean, some of them you didn't get to. They didn't revisit often enough for you to establish a kind of pattern with them or whatever. But there were some sharks that would revisit the boat consecutive days in a row, and you'd start to recognize them at a distance based on their behavior,
Oh, wow.
because you're like recording down like their markings and stuff, so you can keep track of individuals based on their markings, kind of like they do for whales.
Right.
But one of the first giveaways was always the behavior of the shark.
So were some more, probably asking an obvious question, but more aggressive, more docile, and just
Yeah.
anything that in between.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Curious
everything in
and-
between. Like, so in general, the youngest ones, they're like the most ferocious. They come in and they think, I'm a badass.
Getcha.
You know, like, because they're practicing. They're learning how to be a hunter. So they'll come up and they're always like, you have the bait out there.
Gonna get ya.
Yeah, and they're like, look at me, and I'm a badass, and all this stuff. And you're like, you know. But then you get
need to go to jail.
yeah, the juvies, right? The juvies.
The juvies.
You know, so we noticed that with the really young ones, they were typically real feisty, you know. But you get like the big older ones. They come in like it's so if you have multiple sharks around the boat at once, you knew a big one was coming because all of a sudden they'd all scatter.
Oh wow!
And they were like,
Yeah.
who's coming? Who's coming?
Grandpa coming.
Yeah, and so this
the
big
ocean.
old submarine would cruise in and it'd just be real docile and slow and be like, yep, I know. I'm a badass. I
Yeah,
don't have
exactly.
to prove it. I don't
Got
have
it.
to posture. I don't
Got
have to
this.
do anything. Everybody cleared out for me, you know.
Wow, that's some power.
Yeah, and some of the sharks would love interacting with the boat and with the bait, and some hated it.
Oh, really?
You interacted with them once and they'd scurry off and never come back again.
Would others like you see in the movies just really,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you like my impression?
Yeah, because they could easily bite through the rope. So like we
Right.
didn't use hooks for the bait. We would take a big tuna head and tie a rope through it, like through the eyeball socket. It was not glamorous work, believe me.
Oh gosh.
So to be on this rope, and they'd come and they'd like play tug of war, and it's like they can
were
easily
going
cut
crazy.
through the rope.
Yeah.
Like this is not. They can just go. And it
So
would
they're
be-
just having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It'd be like playing tug of war with it, and they'd come back
Right.
again and again and again.
Oh wow.
And some would you try it once and they're like, fuck this, I'm out of here. I'm
Right,
never doing
right.
you know.
It's like a puppy
Yeah.
Fuck a puppy.
or a pirate, as Julie.
I thought you were saying fuck a pirate.
No.
I'm confused. So, yeah, I didn't do a good imitation. I'll work on that one.
This is your shark impression. I was like, are we talking about pirates or?
Oh, Halloween next year. Got an idea. Oh, they were pirates last year, though, so can't do that. Anyways, all right, so anything last minute you'd like to share with us? Anything exciting that we've missed that you're like, oh, I got to tell you this last story?
I mean, there's a lot I could talk about more about the sharks, but
Do sharks poop?
they do. Oh my God.
And
You've never seen anything like it. It's the most bizarre looking, like,
Let's see.
it's
Oh, good question.
It's like, how can I describe it? It's like someone took a, how do I even explain this? It's white.
It's white?
Yeah, yeah. It's like a white powder, and it's like
Oh.
it comes out. It's like it looks like a firecracker of white powder.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like,
Ugh. Oh,
it's
no.
like dang, dude.
Good
Yeah.
question.
See, yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't want to be in the water. See? No.
We don't have sharks, though.
No, but there's fish out here.
Yeah, but they're
They
small.
gotta all be pooping.
5-foot catfish.
Yeah, they're pooping.
They're small.
Okay. All right. You go ahead and swim in that poop water.
Okay. We will.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
We went back to poop. That was our topic
Always
the
have to go
last
back to
time.
poop.
don't know
I
how.
mean, it always comes back to the poop, right?
It always comes out in the end.
Yeah.
It
Well,
always-
for some of us. Some of us, it's a little bit more difficult.
that was pretty good, Rich.
Yeah, sorry.
Always comes out in the
Yeah,
end.
always comes out in the
So many points there.
end. Yeah. That's my.
That's your 2
That's
cents.
it for today.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I had.
That's our cue to log off, isn't it?
Oh,
Well, thanks
you have to.
thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
No, it's
so cool. Time
And thank
goes
you
by
for
so
having
fast.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, come back again.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll
We can talk about
Well,
spooky things.
yes. That's
Yes.
like, seriously, like, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to
Spooky.
work on that one.
A
Yeah.
spooky one because
Definitely.
Do you have spooky stories?
I
Do
don't.
you have any spooky stories?
Some.
Yeah.
He has them.
Personally, have you had it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Although when the girl was here in October, I did that thing because we were testing to see if there were spirits in the basement.
Oh, you did
Oh,
the
right.
in
You
the
told
house.
me about
the dowel
that.
rods, or not dowel
Yeah.
rods. Is that what
Yeah.
they're called?
So
Yes.
were you just curious out of the blue, or did something happen here that made you wonder?
No, she was just said, "Let's try it. I'll see if there's spirits in your
Okay.
basement." I didn't.
Yeah.
So, but the rods worked. So that was really freaky.
Did she say what any of that meant?
Do you remember?
Well, didn't you like ask something, and then if it crossed, that meant that I can't remember now.
No.
Tiffany, we need
Yeah,
a
we-
refresher.
If we
Yeah.
do, all right. We'll
Did-
call Tiffany. We'll do a show.
Did she have any commentary on this area in general? Because I know we're right near the Trail of Tears, and I
Right.
have to wonder, like,
Right.
what kind of.
We'll have to ask her about that. Maybe she
Yeah.
needs to be closer.
What's the Trail of Tears?
What's that?
I don't even know what that
Oh,
is.
you do. You just don't
Yeah.
realize it. It's
Right.
basically when all the Native Americans were,
Okay.
and a lot of death and
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
sad, crappy shit.
We'll have to. I'm going to write that down. Trail of Tears. We'll ask her, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just,
we'll get
I
her back.
wonder, like,
Yeah, we'll have to ask her.
I think we need to. So last year, our plan was to do a couple supernatural episodes. We got one in after Halloween. It was like
It was right after.
We
like
were-
a day
yeah.
or two.
so. This year, maybe we can work on getting. We could even do 2 or 3 before
Sure.
in spooky season.
Yeah.
definitely.
Or it's not even
I've had
spooky
experiences, my mom, a lot of my friends. I mean, I could just go on.
Well,
and
we have neighbors in here that have had experiences.
on.
and
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's fascinating.
All right. Good. Got a plan.
Cool.
There's a plan. Let's do a podcast from the lot up here with the headstones on it.
Oh.
Yeah, whose house is that at? That's where, like,
That's
Davy Crockett's aunt is buried or something?
yeah, and
The
her cousin. I
prophets.
can't remember.
Yeah, the prophets. But somebody was just, TJ went up there, and there's baby ones up there too.
Yeah, somebody said
In
to
the
I
do.
did not know
in
that.
the same yard?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we were up there, but we didn't see the tombstones for the children. So,
Who's?
I'm not sure if they're children, but because somebody said that there's also slaves buried up there. with
no,
them.
I think he did research.
Did
I
he?
know he did,
Okay.
yeah, because then we talked about it the next day. So he said it was children, and
Wow.
I don't think it, well, let me ask him again.
Yeah.
We need to go up there and check it out
Yeah, he checked, yeah. I'll have to
because I
ask
think
him.
there's
I'll
3
call him.
cemeteries within Cherokee's neighborhood.
Oh,
There's
really?
2 slave cemeteries somewhere down here in the lower part, and then there was the Prophet family.
Is the Prophet family, whose property is that on?
It's it's for sale.
Oh.
It's behind. I don't even know their last
Yeah, we'll
names
have
up
to-
there.
Oh,
Maybe
sorry.
we could, yeah, we'll go up there and take, yeah.
And whose property is Davy Crockett's aunt buried? Who's?
That's that same
It's
lot.
that same
Oh, it's
lot.
the same
Yeah,
lot.
it's all
it's
right
for
there.
sale right
Oh,
now.
I see.
Two.
Okay.
There's 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well,
So all of them are on.
It's one lot.
Gotcha.
That
all together.
that is on one lot. Yeah,
I
but
see.
apparently, if you come back down the hill towards the pavilion,
Yeah.
back in there somewhere is a slave
Huh.
cemetery or burial, anyways. And then I think somewhere even down closer this way, it's probably under your house.
Okay. That's cool.
Not yours. I was trying to spook her out. It's right under. I think it's under right
there?
over there.
Oh, it's right over there?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, there's nobody in here.
Don't build a pool. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Oh.
That's Rich's dream.
No pool.
That I have a
Aw.
pool.
Julie was going to put an infinity pool back.
Yeah.
He was, or she was gonna build a pool for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How sweet.
So that way I could get into the
know.
water.
That's nice of you.
I know. Very nice, right? I know, an infinity pool.
with a lazy river
Oh,
Right, with a lazy river.
around the house.
With a lazy
Awesome.
river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And waterfall,
Cool.
God put it all.
Yeah.
You're going to go. you
beverage
might as well go all the way.
stations. Around.
Yeah.
I say sure.
And now that's probably all gone.
You know what? That
but
would be the perfect kickoff for the Godzilla party.
It would be.
Oh, you guys have so many great ideas. I appreciate you too.
Can you have that done by Friday?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it rolls here.
Yeah.
We'll have it done by Friday.
Chop chop.
Okay.
Well, again, thanks for coming, joining us, and until next time, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, probably on a Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yeah.
On a
Unfortunately,
Tuesday,
I have
so
work Wednesdays.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Until next time, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and tell your family and friends about us. People that you love and don't love, it doesn't matter. Just tell them about us. And
That's right.
we'll talk to you all
All
the
right,
next
peace out.
time.
Bye.
If I can get this to work.
I'm taking off my
Giddy
head.
up.